Hey everyone, Aaron Davis here from FCP Euro, and today I'm going to show you how to replace your front brakes on your Audi Q5. The car behind me is a 2017 Audi Q5 with a 2.0T engine. The reason why I'm bringing the engine up is because there are variations between each engine code. This Audi behind me has 320mm front brake discs with a 4-piston Brembo front brake caliper. Now the earlier 2.0T engines in the 3.2 liter have a single piston brake caliper, but it also does use the 320mm brake disc and also the hybrids as well. But since this is a newer 2.0T from 2013 to 2017, it's actually going to use the 320mm front brake disc and the 4-piston Brembo caliper, and this also applies for the TDI and the supercharged Q5. Today we're going to be using the kit that we have listed on the site, which includes TRW organic brake pads. These brake pads actually include the anti-rattle clips and brake pad paste, 320mm Zimmermann Z-coated rotors, the brake pad pins, and also a brake pad wear sensor. So now that you know what we're putting on the car today, let's check out the tools that you're going to need to do this job. So the tools you're going to need to complete this job is a 1/2-inch ratchet, 1/2-inch torque wrench, 1/4-inch ratchet, a hook pick, a flathead, a hammer, a punch, a 17mm socket, a 21mm socket, a T30, pliers, a caliper hanger, wire brush, a flashlight, safety glasses, and you also don't need it, but I did use a 1/2-inch impact gun. And also, if you have it, brake clean. So now that you know the tools you're going to need, let's go ahead and replace the front brakes. This model has a wheel lug cover, so I'm going to take a 90-degree hook pick, put it right in the hole like this, tug, and now we're going to take the 5/17s out. All right, so now we're going to loosen up the brake pads. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver, and you just have to find anywhere you can pry so we can push these pistons in. So now the pistons are pretty compressed. We're going to take out the pins using a punch. All right, so now we're going to put our punch right here on the pin on the outside. Okay, you don't want to go too far with the punch because obviously you know a punch gets thicker as is, and you do not want that stuck in your caliper. That's not fun. All right, so now that I have it out of the pad, I'm going to use a pair of pliers. Basically, you're just going to keep wiggling it. And then just be careful because this will spring forward, like that. Take this pin out. So now we have the top one out, we're gonna take the bottom one out. Since there's no tension on the anti-rattle clip, this one just pulls right out. And in the kit, we're gonna replace this, and we have new pins because as you can see, these get pretty corroded. These actually aren't as bad as I've seen them. Sometimes they get really seized and stuck in here, so that's why I included them in the kit. Then we can go ahead and remove the pads. So now that we have the pins removed, we're going to go ahead and remove the caliper. It's held in by two 21mm. I'm using a 1/2-inch because they are really tight. So now we're going to go ahead and just unthread them by hand. All right, so now we have both of the 21mm removed. We're gonna slide the caliper out, and I'm gonna use the caliper hanger. I'm gonna thread it through the top hole right here. I'm just gonna hook it on top of the spring, so it's out of the way. So now that the caliper is removed, we're gonna go ahead and remove the rotor. I'm gonna use a wheel lug. I'm gonna thread it in just a couple times like that to hold the rotor when I take it off. There's a T30 right here. Remove the T30. And now sometimes the rotors are seized on here, so we're actually going to use a hammer. We're going to hit this outside of the disc. So now that the rotor's removed, I'm going to go ahead and use a wire brush. I'm just going to clean the hub off. So I'm going to use a rag, some brake cleaner. Just going to hit this really quick, get all the debris off. So now that the hub's clean, we can go ahead and install the new rotor. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 320mm rotor back on. These are non-directional, so it can go on the driver or passenger side. Just gonna slide it on. You're gonna line the holes up for the wheel lugs and then also the hole for the set screw. Also, like sometimes when you do these brake jobs, sometimes the set screw isn't there. It's perfectly normal. These are more used on the assembly line when the car's made. It's a T30. So I just put it in by hand right there, and I just lightly tighten it. No torque on this, you just want to make sure it's tight. Don't go overboard. So now the rotor's installed, we can go ahead and clean off the brake caliper and install the brake caliper. So now I'm going to go ahead, use the wire brush again. You're just going to clean the contact surface where the brake pads go. Now it's cleaned off, we're going to go ahead and put the caliper back on. So we're just going to slide it in. And then we're going to tighten both 21mm bolts. So we're going to go ahead and put the 21mm bolts back in. I like to put them in by hand. So now that both bolts are hand tight, we're going to go ahead and torque them. All right, so now we're going to tighten both bolts to 196 Newton meters. All right, so now the caliper's installed, we're going to go ahead and slide the brake pads back in. So you want to make a note, because if you see this cutout actually on the caliper right here, this is where the wire is going to clip in for the brake pad wear sensor. So as you see, this is the right brake pad where it goes, because this will slide in and perfectly align with that. So now we're going to use some paste from the TRW that's included. We're going to go ahead, lubricate the sides. We're going to go ahead, slide this brake pad in. Try to leave it as level as you can, because now we're going to slide this brake pad in, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit it with some love. All right, we're going to slide this one in. Okay. All right, so now we're going to slide the guide pin. Oh, move out of the way. So you're going to line it with this pad right here. And before you go any further, you're going to take the anti-rattle clip, and you want this pin to go underneath this bracket, okay, like this. And then sometimes you can see that the front pad on the outside will come down and hit the rotor, but we can easily push this up. You're going to line it with the hole on this front brake pad, okay. And you want to make sure that this rod, you can actually see through that hole that the rod is actually in place. You're going to go ahead and give it a light tap. So now we're going to hammer it in place, and you can see that it's actually fully installed in the caliper. So now we're going to go ahead and install the bottom one, which is going to be a little bit tougher, because now we have tension. So you're going to slide the pin in through the brake pad. You're going to push down on this. You're going to walk it through. Okay, it's fully installed. I'm just going to go back and just lightly tap both of them to make sure they're fully seated. Both pins are installed into the caliper. And now we can go ahead and hook up the brake pad wear sensor. All right, so now we're going to install the brake pad wear sensor. It clips in on the inner pad, and then you'll see the wire follows this, and then we'll show you how to plug it in the back. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and plug in the brake pad wear sensor. You're going to plug the sensor back into the bracket. You turn it 90, and it locks into place. We can go ahead and grab the sensor, plug it in, and also we loosen this brake line, so we're going to slide the brake line back into the bracket. So that about wraps it up for the front brakes. We're going to go ahead and put the front wheel on, and it's the exact same steps on the passenger side. The only thing is the passenger side does not have a brake pad wear sensor. So that about wraps it up for the Audi Q5 front brake replacement. As you can see, it's a pretty straightforward job. Just remember that the driver's side on this Audi Q5 has the brake pad wear sensor on the driver's side. It does not have the brake pad wear sensor on the passenger side. And also in this video, I did use a lift just so it's easier for me because we have access for it, but you can also do this job easily at your house on some jack stands. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment box below. And as always, I'll see you soon.